Yes, a very good afternoon, guys. We are back. With the November 19 ka RTP sessions. Okay, so in the previous session, in the previous session, we have finished question number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which means we will now resume the session from question number 6. Question number 6 is what we'll start off from. So let us start. Let us start from question 6. Let us see which chapter it is from. I can see question number 6 is from the chapter of cost accounting system. Now, this is more like the chapter of integral and non-integral accounts as per the old syllabus. The name of the chapter is changed. It is now cost accounting system. So let's have a quick run through of what this chapter was. So in this chapter, my main objective was to maintain books of accounts as per cost accounting system, which means we have to prepare multiple ledgers. तुमको याद है क्या? Multiple ledgers means I have to have ledgers like the stores ledger control account. In this ledger, we had to maintain all the inflow and outflow of the raw materials. All the input means purchases goes to this account's debit side. Any outflow of the RM will be RM on the credit side. Where do the goods enter this account? Where do the goods enter from this account? From the stores ledger control account, the goods will enter something called as the work in progress account. So goods are going out of stores ledger and coming back to WIP, which means goods are now being processed. Barabar. Now WIP account will have opening balance. It will have inputs coming from the SLC account. It will also have the manufacturing overheads ka absorbed content. It will also have the direct wages ka content here, because abnormal क्या बोल रहा हूँ, indirect wages content goes to overheads, and from overheads it eventually comes to WIP. So overheads will come to WIP and direct wages content will also come to WIP. Once the goods enter this, they will be completely finished, and once they are finished, they will enter something called as the finished goods account. In the FG account, I'll have opening balance of the FG. I will have goods ka input from WIP account. I will then have the admin content absorbed in the FG account, because FG should contain the admin overheads production content. From the FG account, goods will flow to the cost of goods sold account that will come later. उसके बाद I will have किधर गया? उसके बाद I will have the direct wages account. I will also have the manufacturing overheads account. Both these accounts will have the paid content on the debit side. The overheads account will have the absorbed content on the credit side, and the absorbed content will enter the WIP account. Similarly, wages will have direct, indirect both on the debit side. Direct content goes to FG to the WIP account, and the indirect content goes to overheads account. ठीक है. Then we'll also have admin overheads account. Again the same thing. The cost content will go to the debit side. The cost incurred content will go to debit side, and the absorbed content will go to FG account. ठीक है. Then we have S&D account. S&D account, again the same thing. The incurred content comes here, absorbed content goes there. But generally S&D is not supposed to be absorbed. So generally S&D का तुम्हारा spent and transferred same ही रहेगा. S&D content का credit side will contain the amount going to cost of sales account. उसके बाद S&D के बाद I will have cost of goods sold account. यहाँ पे तुम्हारा इनपुट आएगा फ्रॉम FG अकाउंट. गुड्स ट्रांसफर्ड फ्रॉम FG विल एंटर COGS, एंड COGS के बाद दे विल एंटर द कॉस्ट ऑफ सेल्स. Cost of sales will have opening balance coming from COGS. Apart from that, it will have the S&D content coming from here in the cost of sales, and that will ultimately be transferred to my costing P&L account. Similarly, I will also have one more account called sales account. Very simple. The credit side will have the sales, and debit side will be transferred to my costing P&L account. बराबर. Then in my manufacturing overheads account, admin overheads account, the debit side, as I said, will contain the actual, and the credit side will contain the absorbed content. Balancing figure, if any, either it is transferred to next year, or it is simply debited to costing P&L or credited to costing P&L, as the case is. So balancing figure either goes to costing P&L, or it is balance carried forward. Then you also have something called as a GLA account. In this system, we are not having any ledgers which come in the balance sheet. मतलब cash bank नहीं है, debtors नहीं है, creditors नहीं है. So whenever these accounts will be utilized, you are going to use the GLA account in place of them. It is more like a dummy account. And finally, once you have all these accounts, you will finally prepare a trial balance which should tally. Generally, the TB will contain the stock balance of stores, the stock balance of WIP, the stock balance of FG, and GLA account. These four accounts तो आएंगे ही आएंगे. And in case any expense account का under or over absorbed overheads are being transferred to next year, then those balances will also come in the trial balance. Bottom line, TB should tally. बराबर. This is which ledgers we make and how the posting is done and which amount flows to which ledger. So do not balance WIP account and FG account first. You have to first balance all the expense account, because expense account का some content goes to WIP and FG account. For example, admin overheads का absorbed content goes to FG account. So don't close FG account before you transfer it. Before you transfer the expense from admin account. Similarly, don't close WIP unless you transfer wage content from wages and you transfer overheads absorbed content from the overheads account. So bottom line, don't close WIP and FG account before you close all the expense accounts. ठीक है. So all these ledgers will be prepared and this was the flow of transactions. Hope you know all these things. अपना textbook content में काफी अपना concepts cover हो चुका है chapters के ऊपर. Apart from that, we also covered one sum in the previous RTP from this concept. The sum that we are going to discuss is very similar to what we have done, so it should not be a problem. ठीक है. All set. I hope तुमको ये सब याद आया होगा, because now we are going to start the question 6 that is based on this concept. चालू करेंगे? Yes, thankfully yes. चला, let's start. Question number 6 we are solving of November 19 RTP and is based on cost accounting system. मतलब non-integral set of account. मतलब we are maintaining separate set of books of accounts for costing and separate set of books of accounts for financial accounts, which means profits will be different and we may have to do a reconciliation. लेकिन RICO इस sum का part नहीं है. We are only maintaining books of accounts as per costing records. ठीक है. चालू करूँ या? Let us start please. Question number 6 is what we are starting. Let's start. Now some company as on 30th September has the following balances from the cost ledger. ठीक है. So we have a stores ledger control account. Okay, a wrong pencil has been come. ठीक है. SLC account, that is normal RM account. Then we have WIP account. Then we have FG account. Obviously all these accounts are going to have a debit balance because these are real accounts. These are my closing stock balances. I can see an overheads control account, which means this company is following the practice of carry forward of variances, because expense cannot come in a TB like this. मतलब ये तुम्हारा under absorbed over absorbed content रहेगा, which means the company is using a system of not transferring the under or over absorbed overheads to my costing P&L. They are carrying the balances forward, which also means हम लोग भी यही करेंगे. अपना absorbed content and actual content में जो भी difference आएगा, we will not debit to costing P&L account or credit as the cases, but we will carry it forward as to balance carried down or by balance carried down. ठीक है. Then we have a cost ledger control, which means ये अपना है GLA account. So you have a tally TB. Obviously the TB will be tallying, and these are my opening balances. And now we will start with the transactions. Let's start. Finished product. ये अपना वो है जो अपना FG produced है. This will be transferred from WIP to FG because this is produced. ठीक है. ये अपना हो गया. Then overheads incurred means spent. They will go to overheads account debit side. ठीक है. Then raw materials purchased, SLC account debit side, and the credit will be to cash bank, but since we are not maintaining cash account, we will use a GLA account. तो ये भी अपना हो गया. Factory wages ये अपना जाएगा overheads account में, because ये भी तुम्हारा incurred लग रहा है. ठीक है. Indirect labor again will go to wage account, but the direct wages content will be transferred to WIP and the indirect wage content will be transferred to overheads, and from the overheads it is ultimately going to come to अपना WIP. ठीक है. कॉस्ट ऑफ सेल्स वो है which we are going to transfer from finished product to COGS, but COGS and COS frankly can be merged, so this will be going from FG and towards the COS. So FG credit and COS debit. ठीक है. मटेरियल्स इशूड टू प्रोडक्शन ये वो है जो अपना RM बाहर जा रहा है, बट दे आर इशूड टू प्रोडक्शन, सो लेस फ्रॉम RM, दैट मींस RM क्रेडिट एंड डेबिट टू WIP because they are issued to production. The work of processing will be started on these materials, so credit RM, debit WIP. Then we have sales returned at cost. This is exactly what we had done in the previous sum as well. So it is FG debit because goods are coming in and these were a part of COS before, which will now be removed. So COS credit one effect and FG debit दूसरा effect. ये अपन ने पहले भी किया हुआ है. ठीक है. मटेरियल्स रिटर्न टू सप्लायर्स ये वो है जो अपन ने RM इशू कर दिया है, बट दिस इज नॉट इशूड फॉर आवर प्रोडक्शन, इट इज इशूड टू माय सप्लायर्स. इट्स एज गुड एज सेइंग RM returned. So it will be returned from the your SLC account. So SLC credit and the debit is to my creditor because it's a reversal entry. In the absence of a creditor account, we will debit the GLA account. ठीक है. ओवरहेड्स चार्ज टू प्रोडक्शन, ये अपना वो है दैट इज एब्जॉर्ब कंटेंट. वॉट एवर इज द ओवरहेड्स इनकर्ड दैट विल बी ऑन द डेबिट साइड एंड दिस विल बी ऑन द ओवरहेड्स का क्रेडिट साइड. द इफेक्ट इज ओवरहेड्स क्रेडिट एंड WIP डेबिट एब्जॉर्ब कंटेंट. दिस अमाउंट विल बी कंपेयर्ड टू माई ओवरहेड्स इनकर्ड बीइंग स्पेंट एंड द बैलेंसिंग फिगर इन दिस सम will not be transferred to costing P&L but will be transferred to the next year. ठीक है. Prepare all these accounts. So prepare a GLA account. The cost ledger control account is also called a GLA account as we have solved in the classroom. SLC account, WIP account, finished goods account, overheads account, wage account, cost of sales account and the TB at the end. So pretty much all the ledgers have to be prepared. ठीक है. नो वर्किंग नोट्स इन दिस क्वेश्चन एज ऑफ नाउ. द ओनली थिंग इज दैट दिस एंट्री इज इंपॉर्टेंट, अपना सेल्स रिटर्न, बट दिस इज ऑलरेडी कवर्ड इन द प्रीवियस सम, सो आई डोंट थिंक इट शुड बी अ प्रॉब्लम. तुमको याद आना चाहिए व्हाट वी हैव टू डू. ठीक है. सो नो वर्किंग नोट्स रिक्वायर्ड. वील डायरेक्टली गो टू सोल्यूशन एंड वील चेक कैसा कैसा, आई मीन ऑल इनपुट्स आर बीइंग डेबिटेड टू विच अकाउंट एंड how the ledgers are being balanced and where the accounts are transferred. So in the exam also we'll keep all the ledgers ready. Once all ledgers are ready, the first thing is to post the opening balances and then you keep on giving double impacts to my transactions. ठीक है. So this is how the ledgers look like. This is a GLA account, SLC, WIP के बाद I have my FG के बाद I have my overheads, then I have my wages, then I have my cost of sales because I don't see admin expenses and I don't even see S&D expenses मेरे ख्याल से, and then last में I have the TB. ठीक है. So first things first, let us start. We have to first post all the opening balances in their respective ledgers. ठीक है. So first opening balance SLC 15 lakh will go to SLC account, opening balance 15 lakhs ये अपना हो चुका है. Then we have the next is WIP 7 lakh 50 go to WIP account, opening balance 7 lakh 50. ठीक है. Then we have opening balance of FG 1250 go to FG account and FG account will have opening of 12 lakh 50. Then you have the overheads control का credit balance 75k go to my overheads, go to overheads account and credit balance means buy balance brought down 75,000. And then we have I think GLA account that is 3425 go to my last account, नहीं last यहाँ पे first account है, opening balance किधर गया 3425. So what we have done is as of now we have simply transferred all my opening balances in the respective ledgers. ठीक है. Now we'll go one step forward. We will now start with the transactions. ठीक है. Finished product at cost, ये अपना goods produced है. So WIP में से निकल के that is WIP credit and FG debit. So WIP credit is 11, कहाँ गया अपना amount is 1125. So 1125 here one effect and FG account में debit is the other 1125. दो effects is gone. Then you have तो अपना ये चला गया है. ठीक है. Then you have overheads incurred 425 go to overheads account on the debit side because these are incurred. I can't have two cash bank in the event of which I will have a GLA account that is cost ledger control account 425 on the credit side 425 ये भी चला गया. Then we have raw materials purchase 625 go to my RMC account on debit side, कहाँ गया debit side, हाँ 625. I can't have cash bank or creditors in the event of which I have GLA account, second effect will go here as GLA. ठीक है. ये भी अपना चला गया. Then we have factory wages 2 lakhs and indirect labor 1 lakh. Both are my wage content. Both will be transferred one by one to wages or I can even club the two of them and write 3 lakhs. Let's see what the ICI has done. Wage account में जाकर they have clubbed both of them 2 lakhs. This is nothing but 2 plus 1. 2 lakh plus 1 lakh. ठीक है. 2 lakh 1 minute let me erase this. ये गलत नहीं, बराबर नहीं लग रहा. 2 lakh plus 1 lakh. ठीक है. ये अपना हो गया 3 lakhs and then we have a GLA का second effect as 3 lakhs. 1 minute guys. Okay. फोन आ चुका था अनफॉर्चुनेटली. ठीक है. So where were we? We were here. ठीक है. So second effect will go in the GLA account as 3 lakhs. ठीक है. Then मैं इसको साइलेंट पे कर देता हूँ वरना बचता ही रहेगा. ठीक है. देन वी हैव ओके अपना क्या हो गया भूल गया मैं. हाँ, वेज का वन इफेक्ट इज इन माय वेज अकाउंट एंड दूसरा इज जीएलए अकाउंट, ठीक है, तो अपना वेज भी चला गया. देन वी हैव कॉस्ट ऑफ सेल्स एज 875. कॉस्ट ऑफ सेल्स इवेंचुअली मींस एफजी से बाहर जा रहा है, दैट इज एफजी क्रेडिट एंड एंटरिंग सीओएस, सो सीओएस डेबिट, एफजी क्रेडिट. So where is the FG account? FG credit is cost of sales 875 and COS debit side should be 875 here, so both the effects are gone. ठीक है, अपना COS चला गया. Then we have 675 as materials issued to production. That means WIP में enter कर रहा है and RM से बाहर निकल रहा है, so it's RM credit and WIP debit 675. So RM is credit 675, WIP debit 675. ये भी अपना हो चुका, ठीक है, आगे बढ़ेंगे. Then you have sales return, cost of sales. That is first of all it's a sales return at cost. So first of all अपन sales, okay, I don't see a sales here. If I had a sales, I need to have the selling price because sales will have the selling price. Since the COS is mentioned at cost, it is my job to include first of all these goods in my FG because goods are coming back, so it will enter my finished goods because sales return है, which means sales will always be of FG. So FG ही वापस आएगा, so FG में अपन डेबिट करेंगे वन इफेक्ट. एंड सिंस ये कॉस्ट ऑफ सेल्स है जो वापस आ रहा है अपना, I mean जो सेल्स है वापस आ रहा है अपना, एंड ये कॉस्ट है, I need to reduce this from the total cost of sales, which means cost of sales credit to remove the cost of sales content and FG debit because finished goods are coming in. So FG debit and COS credit, FG debit, COS credit ये वाला and FG debit ये वाला. So both the effects are gone. FG debit because goods are coming in and COS credit because the cost is now reduced because ये goods sold है ही नहीं because they are coming back. ठीक है, तो ये अपना हो गया COS का भी कंटेंट. देन वी हैव मटेरियल रिटर्न टू सप्लायर 65. दैट इज एज गुड एज सेइंग RM में से क्रेडिट बिकॉज गुड्स आर गोइंग आउट एंड आई विल डेबिट द क्रेडिटर, इन विच केस आई विल डेबिट द GLA अकाउंट. तो GLA डेबिट होना चाहिए 65 एंड मटेरियल्स में क्रेडिट होना चाहिए 65. दिस इज द और दीज आर द टू इफेक्ट्स. ठीक है, ये भी अपना हो गया. लास्ट इज ओवरहेड्स चार्ज टू प्रोडक्शन. दिस इवेंचुअली मींस व्हाटएवर इज द एब्जॉर्ब्ड कंटेंट. सो गो टू माय WIP अकाउंट एंड डेबिट इट बिकॉज एब्जॉर्ब कंटेंट गोज टू WIP एंड सिंस ये ओवरहेड्स कंटेंट है सो गो टू ओवरहेड्स का क्रेडिट साइड. बैलेंसिंग फिगर इन द ओवरहेड्स अकाउंट विल बी टू बैलेंस और बाय बैलेंस कैरीड डाउन. सो WIP के अंदर 425 इज एब्जॉर्ब कंटेंट एंड गो टू माय मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ओवरहेड्स एंड ओवरहेड्स विल बी एब्जॉर्ब कंटेंट 425. ठीक है, ये भी अपना हो गया. Anything else that I need to input? I don't think so. So now it is time to balance the ledgers. ठीक है, so first I'll try and balance the store's ledger control account. Do I have the opening balance? Yes. Do I have the goods input? Yes. Do I have the goods transferred? Yes. So balancing figure obviously has to be the closing balance of my stores, which means buy balance carried down. ये तुम्हारा stock account है. It will always be a balance carried down, debit balance because it's a stock account. ठीक है, WIP बैलेंस करने के पहले आई विल नीड टू बैलेंस वेज एंड ओवरहेड्स अकाउंट. सो गो टू ओवरहेड्स अकाउंट. Do I have the opening balance? Yes. Do I have the cost में transfer? Yes. Do I have WIP transfer? Yes. Then where is the wage का indirect labor? Okay, this 2 lakh का split was 2 and 1, right? The direct wage content goes to WIP and the indirect wage content goes to overheads, which means the indirect content was 1 lakh. This will go to overheads, one effect here, one effect here, and the direct content is 2 lakh which goes to one effect on the credit side and दूसरा effect on WIP debit side, that is here. ठीक है, then I can close the manufacturing overheads account. Balancing figure, as I said, will be under or over absorbed. This in normal cases goes to costing P&L, but since the question has opening balance in the trial balance, it means we are carrying it forward, which means this is balance carried down. ठीक है, then we can close wage account as well. I've got one effect का transfer spend, दूसरा is transferred to WIP and दूसरा is transferred to overheads as well. This account is tallying, so 3 lakhs and 3 lakhs is normal. ठीक है, then what we can do is we can then close the WIP account. I have the opening balance, yes. I've got the expenses, yes. I've got the wages, yes. I've got the goods transferred, yes. Balancing figure obviously has to be the closing balance and this will be transferred to my TB because this is an asset, so it's balance carried down. Same thing I can do for FG as well. I do have the opening balance, I have the goods finished, I've got the cost of goods sold as well. Balancing figure is going to represent my closing stock of FG. ठीक है, overheads is taken care of, wage account is taken care of, cost of sales balancing figure obviously has to be balance carried down. This generally goes to costing P&L because we have been ulta, because we have not been given the details of sales. That means we are carrying forward this balance. Had sales been given, then sales goes to costing P&L, COS goes to costing P&L, and we eventually find the profit. But in the absence of sales, we can't have the closing balance here, so we transfer it to my TB as 8,30,000. As I said, this generally enters the costing P&L because we want to find the profit. यहाँ पे sales दिया नहीं है, so we are simply carrying it forward in the trial balance. ठीक है, और क्या बचा अपना TB. As I said, all the closing balances, SLC, WIP, FG, this all are closing balances that we have found in the opening 3 accounts, that is my RM, WIP and FG. ठीक है, balancing figure, this is coming in the TB because the question had told indirectly that we are carrying forward the balances because the opening TB mentioned the balance of overheads account. ठीक है, cost of sale as I said generally doesn't come here, goes to costing P&L, but sales नहीं है तो यहाँ पे profit नहीं आ सकता, because of which we have to only transfer balance in my or to my TB. ठीक है, this is coming from here, that is cost of say you have now got the GLA account and this has to tally. This sum is very much similar to what we have done in the previous RTP. So nothing new in this question. यहाँ पे the only thing which can be revised is the fact that अपना जो ये cost of sales का return है, ये वाला, ये normally भूलने को हो जाता है. So this is the only adjustment which can be revised in the entire question. All other things are general, मतलब इसमें कुछ भी नया नहीं है. It is pure posting, that is look at the transactions and keep on giving the effect in the respective ledgers. And one more thing that can be remembered is the fact that cost of sales in this case is transferred to, किधर गया, cost of sales is transferred to the trial balance. Generally it is transferred to costing P&L, but since sales is not given, we cannot find the profit. It is because of which I am transferring this to my GLA account, I mean in the TB as a balance carried down. ठीक है, so this question is gone, काफी अच्छा रिवाइज हो गया होगा अपना. So which means that we will go to the next sum. ठीक है, so one more question gone, so which means we should start the next question. The next question I can see is based on the chapter of contract costing. Now very simple this chapter, especially in the new syllabus, because we are not splitting the profits into costing P&L content and provision for contingency content. ठीक है, so let's quickly revise contract costing. This sum or like a question which is very similar to this question has been solved before, so we should not be able to have any doubts here. We'll directly start with the solution, but I'll have a small intro of this chapter as usual. ठीक है, contract account, we are in the books of the contractor. My job is to find the notional profits because I can't wait for the entire building to be ready. It is because of which I prepare a contract account. Debit side will contain all the contract case specific cost. The credit side will contain WIP, that is work certified at contract price and work uncertified at cost. Any materials returned or any materials at site will also be on the contract account credit side, and well, that is pretty much what is need to be known for solving the next question, which is very similar to what we have solved. Regarding depreciation, let's have a quick understanding of what we have to do, okay, for depreciation. So which means we have a normal contract account here. यहाँ पे we can either write the depreciation content, which I prefer, rather than having the cost content here and the closing balance here. So what the ICI can do, it maintains the assets ka cost here and the asset ka closing balance here. Eventually cost minus the closing balance eventually has to come to depreciation. An easier approach obviously is to simply find out कि वो asset contract account में कितने महीनों के लिए use हुआ है and only have depreciation in the contract account debit side. Other things which normally are there are DM, DL, overheads, as I mentioned, work certified at contract price and work uncertified at cost, and there could be some materials का closing balance at site, and balancing figure जो भी आएगा, this is nothing but notional profit, and well, that's it. और कुछ भी नया है नहीं इस क्वेश्चन के अंदर. Other things like prepaid, outstanding, all these have to be adjusted because we always maintain books of accounts as per the accrual system. ठीक है. In this question, now this was simply general of what contract account is. In this question we are also going to find something called as estimated profit, something new. So what we do is, first we will have to prepare a ledger as usual, barabar, and since we have to find something called as the profit which are estimated, what we'll do is the debit side has to contain the cost incurred plus estimated, because only if we have the cost incurred plus estimated cost on the cost side, then only we can find something called as balancing figure जो अपना है estimated profit. Again, cost plus estimated, all the cost of DM, all the cost of DL, all the cost of overheads are going to be cost incurred till date plus cost estimated till the future, because we are not only finding notional profits, we are also finding the total expected profits from the entire contract. बराबर. अगर आप now common sense है, if you are finding the profit which is estimated from the entire contract, here I need to have the full contract price, only then these two sides are comparable. I can't have the full contract cost which are estimated on debit side and having only the partial revenue on the credit side. And again, any materials at stock or at the end have to be adjusted here, and we will find something called as the profit which is estimated, which is going to be used in the question that we are going to solve. ठीक है. तो इस क्वेश्चन में फर्स्ट पार्ट इज यूजुअल, वी नॉर्मली we have to find the notional profit which we have done many times, and the second part is based on this concept of finding the estimated profit, that is पूरे contract का cost, compare it with पूरा contract's revenue, and the balancing figure is what I am actually estimating from the entire contract. ये जो अपन notional profit find करते हैं, ये वाला in the first part, ये जो अपन नोशनल फाइंड करते हैं वो सिर्फ ये साल का रहता है, बराबर, बिकॉज वी आर गोइंग स्टेप बाय स्टेप. सो इफ द बिल्डिंग इज 3 floors रेडी आउट ऑफ से 6 floors, देन वी फाइंड द प्रॉफिट्स फॉर 3 floors ओनली. व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू फाइंड इन द नेक्स्ट पार्ट इज पूरे 6 floor का प्रॉफिट इफ द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज रेडी. ठीक है, ये अपना बेसिक है, नथिंग कॉन्सेप्चुअली डिफरेंट. इट इज सिंपली एड द एग्जिस्टिंग कॉस्ट इनकर्ड with the cost which are estimated future as well, and in that case we will find the profits which are estimated. ठीक है, I hope this is clear and तुमको याद आया हो what we are doing in contract costing, and based on that we are going to solve question number 7. चालू करेंगे? Yes, let us start please. Question number 7 is what we are doing from November 19's RTP. So let us start. Question 7. Now, a company commenced a contract on 1st April 18. The total contract was for 1,08,50,000. ये अपना है पूरा contract price. ठीक है. It was decided to estimate the total profit and to take to the credit of costing P&L that proportion of the profit on cash basis which work completed bear to total contract. Now तुम बोलोगे ये क्या है? Frankly, this data would have been important if we are finding what content of the profit is to be taken to the credit of costing P&L. But frankly, in the new syllabus, are we finding the profit that has to be taken to costing P&L? The answer is no, which means this entire paragraph जो important होना चाहिए था वो अभी important नहीं है, because we are not finding any proportion of the profit that is to be going to the credit of costing P&L. We are only finding notional profit and the profit which is estimated. We are not finding any content that goes to costing P&L, which means we can completely ignore the first paragraph. This paragraph is probably taken from an old sum where the costing content, the P&L content of the notional profit was to be found out. Here in the new syllabus it has no relevance. So ये पढ़ के टेंशन मत लो, we are only finding the notional profit. आगे बढ़ेंगे. The actual expense in the year 1819, ठीक है, and the estimated expenditure in 1920 are given. So as I said, अपने को actuals दिया है 1819 का, and we are also being given the estimated income or expense of the year 1920. This will help us to find the total estimated profit from the contract. ठीक है, Chalo, then let's read the data. I can see materials issued. Materials issued are 1824 actual and 3256 estimated. So obviously 3256 is over and above the 1824. It is not 32 में से 18 हो चुका है. 18 is already incurred and इसके बाद मैं और 32 expect कर रहा हूँ. So 18 plus 32 is my total expense of materials. It is on an estimated basis total. ठीक है. Then we have labor which is paid and outstanding. ये प्योर पर एडलेस करना होगा. Plant purchase. Tell me, is plant purchase my contract cost? The answer is no. इस plant के ऊपर depre will be the contract cost for number of months for which the contract has used this particular plant. ठीक है. Expenses paid and outstanding and prepaid. So all we have to do is simply do add less to get my expense content. Plant returned to store. Now plant purchase is ऊपर, plant returned is नीचे. This will help me to find the depreciation content. ठीक है. Materials at site, ये closing लग रहा है. ठीक है. Work in progress certified. ठीक है. Work uncertified. ठीक है. This will be assumed at contract price and this will be assumed at cost. ठीक है. Cash received. Frankly, contract account के अंदर cash receive का relevance नहीं है. कैश रिसीव का एंट्री क्या है? कैश अकाउंट डेबिट बिकॉज कैश इज कमिंग इन. बट सिंस दिस इज मोर लाइक एन एडवांस, वी डोंट राइट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अकाउंट, वी विल राइट द कॉन्ट्रैक्टी अकाउंट. दिस मेक्स द कॉन्ट्रैक्टी माई क्रेडिटर बिकॉज दिस इज एडवांस मनी कमिंग फ्रॉम हिम. Cash account debit to contractee is not coming anywhere in the contract account. This will have no relevance in the contract का ledger. करना क्या है? Okay, the plant is subject to depreciation at 20% of WDV. So depending on the cost of plant, depending on the plant returned, depending on the WDV का rate, we will get the depreciation content. ठीक है. The contract will be getting over on September 30, 2019. This will also help us to find out कि plant कितने time तक use हुआ है because September 30 तक contract खत्म हो रहा है. ठीक है. करना क्या है? प्रिपेयर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फॉर 1819. नाउ 1819 इवेंचुअली मीन्स ये अपना प्योर एक्चुअल्स है and this will obviously help us to find something called as notional profit. This is what we always do. अपन ने ये बहुत बार किया हुआ है. Simply maintain the contract account, debit पे expenses, credit पे work certified and work uncertified, stock if any, balancing figure is my notional profit. That's the first part. Second part is something new that we haven't done before. We are going to find the total expected profit from the contract for which I will consider this column as well. Expected वाला, ये वाला बराबर. So the first column will be used for the first part and the second column के cost will be added to the first column's cost to get total cost and total revenue, and I will get the estimated total profit from the what? Contract. Sorted. Yes, I don't see any working notes as of now. I will only require for depreciation, which can be done when we solve the question. So we can directly start with the posting in the contract account. चालू करेंगे. Yes, so let us start by preparing the first part, that is simply contract account. When I am doing the first part, I will not see anything from this column because I am simply doing for 1819. I will deal with the actuals. ठीक है. Let us start. I can see materials is 1824. Now let's go step by step. 1824 materials. One effect is here, which means in the contract it will go to debit side as materials issued. ठीक है. Then we have labor. So I will add 1220 plus 96 because outstanding is also a cost even though it is not paid. So 1220 plus 96. 1220 plus 96 goes to contract account debit side. ठीक है. Then we have plant purchase. Plant purchase is 9 lakhs. Now ये अपना हो गया plant purchase 9 lakhs. Tell me, somebody would say 9 lakhs में से I can see 3 lakhs ये वाला is returned. First of all, have they mentioned मैंने ये plant return कब किया है? No, which means I can assume that this 3 lakh was returned to the site at the end of the year, which eventually means मैंने पूरा plant पूरे साल के लिए use किया है. The plant, if they question mentioned that the plant was returned after 3 months, then in that case मैं depre split करता. Here they haven't mentioned what is the date of return, so I will assume that this plant was returned to the site at the end of the year, which means I have used the plant on this site for the entire year. So it is very simple. पूरा साल, that is 9 lakhs into 20% का depreciation, that is 1,80,000. This should eventually go to the debit of the contract account. ठीक है. So 1,80,000 is my depreciation. This should go as a cost in my contract account. What the ICI has done, they have done the cost and WDV का effect. So if you take the plant purchase का cost year, किधर गया plant purchase? 9 lakhs. ठीक है, 9 lakhs is year. Subtract plant return to stores 2,40,000. Subtract the plant at site closing balance 4,80,000. The balancing figure has to be 1,80,000. 9 lakh minus 240 minus 480 comes to 1,80,000, which means you can directly post 1,80,000 on debit side. The net effect, what I'm trying to say, the net effect of 9 lakhs, 2,40,000 and 4,80,000 is 1.80 lakhs net debit. That is why I always prefer to simply post 1,80,000 on debit side as the net effect of depreciation. ठीक है. So let's not go to 9 lakh minus 240 minus 480. The net effect of 9, 240 and 480 is 1.8 lakh. Simply write depreciation 9 lakh के ऊपर 20% and then write a note. It's assumed that the plant was returned on the last day of the year, which means full year the plant was there on the site, which means full year's depreciation content will be a cost of contract, that is 9 lakhs at 20%. ठीक है, आगे बढ़ेंगे. Then comes what? Then comes expenses. Again the same thing. Paid was 4 lakhs. Okay, paid was 4 lakhs and prepaid was 90. So when I say 4 lakhs was paid, but 90 was prepaid. 90 pertains to next year. So my cost becomes 4 lakh less 90. So my effect is 4 lakh less 90. That's 3 lakh 10. ठीक है, ये भी काफ़ी इजी था. Then materials at side 1,20,000. Either you reduce 1,20,000 from the total material cost, or you post 1,20,000 on the credit side, that is 1,20,000 on the contract side, I mean contract account credit side. That is normal, बहुत बार किया है अपन ने. आगे बढ़ेंगे. Work certified 51 and work uncertified 1,60,000. So 51 goes here, 160 goes here. Total is so and so. So as I can see, all my amounts in the contract account have been posted, which means I can balance it and I will get 1,750 as the notional profit. The word is notional, very important. Don't write costing P&L, don't write P&L. We have to write notional profit because this is simply the profit that we would have earned had we sold the half contract. It is as if notional, barabar. So first part is done. We have found out the contract account for the year 18-19 and we have found the notional profit. अपन ने ये बहुत बार किया हुआ है. No complications, all data was given to us. I have simply posted. The only thing important here was to get the depreciation correct. Simply have 9 lakh at 20% and we will get the full year's depreciation. ठीक है, ये भी हो गया. Now coming to the next part. The find the profit, which is, the word is estimate for the contract. पूरे साल का अपने प्रॉफिट एस्टिमेट करना है for the entire contract, not just the next year. बराबर. Now we have to add the existing costs and the estimated cost to get the total cost and compare total cost with total contracts revenue, and I will get the entire profit estimated from the full contract. ठीक है, चालू करेंगे. So here what I'll do, here whatever cost have been incurred till date will be added to my costs which are estimated. ठीक है, so prepare contract account and then we'll simply verify the numbers starting from. So we'll have a normal contract account as usual. As you can see, the contract account is usual, contract account debit credit as usual. All I'm saying is you have to simply take the numbers from the estimated column as well. Starting from materials, can I say opening or incurred is 1824 and the next and the further costs are 3256, which means 1824 plus 3256 is the total cost estimated for the full contract. So 1824 किधर गया, 1824 plus 3256 is my total contract का cost on the RM. ठीक है, आगे बढ़ेंगे. then किधर गया, then we have labor. Now labor is paid 12,20,000, ठीक है, out of which outstanding is 96 and then next year we are paying 1520. बराबर. Now तुमने चैप्टर किया होगा अपना NPO का, either in the foundation or in your inter का studies. Whatever is the paid content that usually or always includes the previous year's outstanding. बराबर. Now 96, मैं इसका बात कर रहा हूँ. This 96 was not paid in the previous year and I have paid 1520 in the current year. This 1520 is going to include 96 as well, which means 12,20,000 plus 96. Then I will do plus 1520, but 1520 will obviously include 96, so I'll again subtract 96, which is as good as saying 12 lakh 20 plus 15 lakh 20 and plus current year outstanding of 1 lakh 50 is my total expense on the labor. It is paid plus outstanding. I will not take this figure of 96 because this will be again adjusted in this figure paid. या फिर तुम क्या कर सकते हो, 1220 plus 96 plus 1520 again minus 96 and plus 150. So 96 gets cancelled, might as well 1220 plus 1520 plus 150 should be the labor content. So 1220 plus 1520 appears to be 2740. 2740 plus 150 appears to be 2890, and 2890 should come in the outer column, which I can see here, 2890. What they have done, 1220 plus 96, and then they have done plus 1424, and 1424 is 1520 minus 96. तो जब 96 ऊपर प्लस करना है, नीचे माइनस करना है, so don't take 96 and obviously plus current year outstanding. That is how I arrive at this figure of 28,90,000. So we are computing total cost of the entire contract. Take the existing cost plus the cost which are estimated, obviously after adjusting the prepaid and the outstanding. ठीक है, ये भी अपना हो गया. देन कमिंग टू आउटस्टैंडिंग हो गया, प्रीपेड हो गया. ठीक है, प्लांट रिटर्न. नाउ इंटरेस्टिंग, प्लांट रिटर्न टू स्टोर्स इज 3 lakhs. Now this was returned on the last day of the year, which means ये अपना रिटर्न कर दिया है. तो अपन ने 9 लाख का कंटेंट पूरा यूज कर दिया है फॉर द फर्स्ट ईयर, एंड 3 lakh इज रिटर्न, which means next year we are using only 6 lakh worth of plant at cost, बराबर. And the remaining 6 lakh is returned, the remaining 6 lakhs किधर गया, the remaining 6 lakh is returned on the end of the period. Now 30th September is the period for which or on which the contract is supposed to be completed. Now इसका डेप्री हम फाइंड कैसे करेंगे, इंटरेस्टिंग. First of all, I am finding the depree of the total contract, right, बराबर. ठीक है, so first of all 9 lakhs into 20%, that is 1,80,000. This depree is definitely in the last year, बराबर. Now 9 lakhs में से 3 lakhs has been returned on the last day of the previous year, which means 9 lakhs minus 3 lakhs. This is the cost of the a machine that is there on the side. The word is the cost, बराबर. ठीक है, अभी ये 6 लाख के ऊपर if you take 20%, then you will again take 20 on the cost, but the depree का rate is 20% on WDV. तो what is the WDV of the asset which is on the site? I would say 6 lakh minus 20% appears to be 80%, so 4 lakh 80. So can I say this is the WDV of the asset on site on 1st April 19? Definitely yes, because 9 lakhs was the cost, और cost में से 3 lakh का cost content has been returned. So मेरे पास as on 1st April 19 4 lakh 80 worth का asset WDV अपने पास है. तो I would say 4 lakh 80,000 into 20% is my depreciation, that is nothing but 96,000, बराबर. Now this 96,000 is for the full year FY, बराबर. However, the asset is complete or the contract is done on the 30th September, which means इसका 50% depree is what I will take. That means my depree content is 48,000. 48,000 is my current year depreciation content. ठीक है, 9 लाख का सेट था, 3 लाख का cost has been returned, 9 lakh का 20% last डेबिट हो चुका है, which means I have got 6 lakhs का asset at cost on my side. The same asset WDV is 6 lakh minus previous year's debt, that is 20%, which means 4 lakh 80. Now 4 lakh 80 के ऊपर 20% is my debt for the full year, but the asset is used only up to September 30, so I should take only 48,000, which means original depree of 1 lakh 80, original depree of 1 lakh 80,000 plus current year debris of 48,000, this entire debris of 2,28,000 should be sitting on the debit side of my contract account. ठीक है, this is my total debris. I am not doing accounting for 1920. I am doing the profitability of the entire contract. So I should take entire contract's depreciation, that is last year's debt plus current year's debt. This 1,80,000 is last year's debt and this 48 is current year's debt. Total मिला के 2,28,000 should be on the debit side of my contract account. Clear? Hopefully yes. Let us see what the ICI has done. ICI must have done the gross method. So plant purchase is 9 lakhs debit, plant at side 3 lakh is returned, and plant return to store is 240 again, and plant return on the closing is 432. एक काम करो, ये सबका नेट इम्पैक्ट निकालो. किसका नेट तुम लोगे? I'll mark 9 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 240 and 432. ये चारों चीज का नेट इंपैक्ट करो. आई शुड गेट द नेट ऑफ 228. 9 lakhs माइनस 3 lakhs माइनस 240 माइनस 432. किधर गया? 9 lakhs क्या माइनस किया मैंने? 9 lakhs माइनस 3 lakh माइनस 240 माइनस 432. अमाउंट इज व्हाट? क्या आ रहा है मेरे को? प्लांट एट स्टोर नहीं आ रहा है. 9 lakh माइनस 3 lakh 6 lakhs 228 आना चाहिए ना मेरे को. 220 क्यों नहीं आ रहा? नहीं 9 lakh प्लांट. ओह मैंने कहा आई हैव डन अ रॉन्ग थिंग. गलत जवाब. आई शुड नॉट. ये अपना मटीरियल्स है, सो डोंट टेक दिस. आई शुड डू गलत जवाब. 9 lakh माइनस 240 that is plant and minus 432. 228. I know 228. Yes. So I had taken 3 lakh by mistake. I thought it plant है. So 9 lakh minus 240 minus 432 is net impact of 228, and 228 का split is this. हाँ, इसका split ये है. 228 का split 180 plus 48. ठीक है. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई सेड तुम नेट इम्पैक्ट ऑफ डेप्री पोस्ट करो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में. दैट्स मच इजियर. ठीक है. तो अपना डेप्री भी हो चुका है, तो डेप्री इज ऑल्सो गॉन. अब क्या बचा अपना? अब क्या बचा इज मटेरियल्स एट साइट इज 3 lakhs. नाउ दिस इज माई मटेरियल्स एट द क्लोजिंग साइड. डू नॉट एड 3 lakh plus 120 बिकॉज 120 इज लास्ट ईयर्स क्लोजिंग, विल बी टेकन एज करंट ईयर्स ओपनिंग. वो नॉक ऑफ हो जाएगा. आई ओनली वॉन्ट माई मटेरियल्स एट द एंड ऑफ द. इट्स ऑलवेज एज ऑन अ पर्टिकुलर डेट. इट्स नॉट समेशन. सो आई विल ऑब्वियसली टेक ओनली 3 lakhs ऑन द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट क्रेडिट साइड. दैट्स माई क्लोजिंग मटेरियल्स 3 lakhs. ठीक है. अभी और क्या बचा अपना? लेट अस सी द डेटा. और कुछ बचा है क्या? एंड आई कैन सी वर्क इन. ओके, ये तो अपना फुल है. सिंस वी आर डूइंग द फुल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का प्रॉफिट, वी शुड टेक द कंप्लीट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट प्राइस. वी शुड नॉट डू 51 lakhs प्लस करंट बिकॉज वी आर फाइंडिंग द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स फुल प्रॉफिट. सो आई शुड टेक द एंटायर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट प्राइस. सो 108 जो फिगर था, पूरा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट प्राइस का रेवेन्यू शुड कम हियर, विच मीन्स माई एंटायर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अकाउंट सीम्स टू बी रेडी. सो आई विल फाइंड आउट. ओके, एक्सपेंस रह गया. एक्सपेंस किधर गया अपना? एक्सपेंस, हाँ एक्सपेंस. ओ ये एक पॉइंट रह गया अपना. सो एक्सपेंस पेड, अगेन द सेम थिंग लाइक लेबर. एक्सपेंस पेड वॉज 4 lakhs. ठीक है. बट प्रीपेड वॉज 90, बट 90 विल बी अगेन रिवर्स्ड. सो पेड इज 4 lakh plus paid 7 lakh and plus outstanding 1 lakh. So 4 plus 7 plus 1 or 90 will be adjusted because prepaid now will be a cost later. That means 4 lakh plus 7 lakh 11 lakh, 11 lakh plus 1 lakh 12 lakh. 12 lakh should be on the contract account debit side, which is this 12 lakh. ठीक है. तो अपना कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अकाउंट फुल रेडी हो चुका है. द बैलेंसिंग फिगर इज गोइंग टू बी द प्रॉफिट, दैट इज 17,52,000, एंड दिस इज द प्रॉफिट विच इज एस्टिमेटेड ऑब्वियसली फॉर द फुल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. ये कोई साल का नहीं है. दिस इज व्हाट आई विल बी एक्सपेक्टिंग टू अर्न फ्रॉम द एंटायर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. ठीक है. डेप्री वॉज ऑफ प्राइम इंपॉर्टेंस इन दिस क्वेश्चन, विच मीन्स दिस क्वेश्चन इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर लास्ट डे रिविजन. And majorly the second part specially is important for last day revision because depre का adjustment is important and prepaid outstanding कैसे adjust करते हैं is also important. ठीक है, so important question gone. Question number 7 is gone, which means we will now go to question number 8, and I can see it is on batch costing. Pretty simple question. So we will start with question number 8. Just 1 minute. Let me deal with the messages first. Okay. ठीक है, चला, let us start with question number. अपना 2 क्वेश्चन हो चुका है for the day. Question 6 is done, question 7 is done. 6 was based on your cost accounting system and 7 was based on contract. And now we are doing question 8, that is based on batch costing. This is based on actually a batch costing particular नहीं है. This is actually the concept of, it is concept of, अगर तुमको याद रहेगा तो ORS, Optimum Run Size. Now you must have done the chapter of material cost. Yes, where we used to find something called as EOQ, that is economic order quantity. बहुत सारे सम्स भी किए अपने इस concept के ऊपर. Here the concept was to understand what is the order quantity of the raw materials, which means एक time पे how many goods or how much quantity of goods I will need to purchase at one time so as to minimize my TCA plus TCI. ये अपना objective था. Now linked to the concept of EOQ is one more concept of ORS, that is Optimum Run Size. Exactly same concept, सिर्फ EOQ is based for raw materials, the ORS is based on, or it is depending on, or it is for the finished goods. Now we know for a fact that machines produce finished goods and machines have setups and they have to be defined कि एक run में या एक setup में कितना FG produce करना है, बराबर. So like the way I have something called as ordering cost, I also have something called as a machine सेटअप कॉस्ट्स, बराबर. एक टाइम पे इफ वी ऑर्डर गुड्स दैट इज कॉल्ड ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट एंड एक रन में कितना एफजी प्रोड्यूस करना है दैट इज कॉल्ड माय मशीन सेटअप कॉस्ट, बराबर. इन द प्रीवियस कॉन्सेप्ट वी हैव टू डिफाइन कि एक टाइम पे कितना गुड्स परचेज करना है. इन दिस कॉन्सेप्ट वी हैव टू फिगर आउट एक रन में कितना एफजी वी हैव टू मैन्युफैक्चर, बराबर. देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज सीआई आल्सो इन द प्रीवियस कॉन्सेप्ट. सीआई इज द इन्वेंटरी होल्डिंग कॉस्ट ऑफ द आरएम. इन दिस केस इट इज द इन्वेंटरी holding cost for finished goods. ठीक है, so these two concepts are exactly same. In the previous concept we are finding what is the quantity of goods that we have to order at one time. In this concept what is the quantity of goods we have to manufacture in one production run, बराबर. So the formula was अपना 2ACA upon CI, बराबर. The formula here will also be the same. In the previous case A was the annual requirement of RM. In this case A is going to be the annual demand of the finished goods because this is pertaining to finished goods. CA in the previous part was ordering cost. CA in this part is going to be the machine setup cost, the cost per setup. In the previous part CI was inventory holding cost of the RM. In this part the CI is the inventory holding cost of the FG. In the previous part we'll get how much goods are to be ordered at one time. In this case we are going to get how many goods are to be manufactured at one time. Exactly same. CA, CI, A, 2, AC सब कुछ तुम्हारा same है. So this concept will be used in the upcoming sum, that is optimum run size. In one run how many goods should be manufactured. There the concept was at one time how many goods I have to purchase. Purchase links to RM, so that concept was based on RM. Manufacture is linked with production, so this concept is based on year finished goods. ठीक है, समझ गए? वी हैव सॉल्व्ड वन और आई थिंक टू क्वेश्चंस बेस्ड ऑन दिस कॉन्सेप्ट इन द क्लास वर्क सेक्शन. सिंस ये एकदम सिंपल कॉन्सेप्ट है, देयर आर वेरी फ्यू क्वेश्चंस, सो दिस इज अ गुड क्वेश्चन टू रिवाइज ऑन लास्ट डे बिकॉज यू मे टेंड टू फॉरगेट कि ORS एक कॉन्सेप्ट है, बराबर. सो इंपॉर्टेंट टू रिवाइज ऑन लास्ट डे. सो लेट अस रीड क्वेश्चन नंबर 8 ऑन द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ ORS एंड दिस इज फ्रॉम द November 19 RTP. ठीक है, let us start please. Batch costing, question number 8. Let's start. Some company manufactures glass bottles. ठीक है, a pharma company which is an Ayurvedic company. अभी तुम कुछ भी करो, मेरा कोई लुकआउट नहीं, मेरा काम नंबर से है. ठीक है, it can produce 2 lakh bottles in a month. ठीक है, okay, A is always annual in nature, so 2 lakh into 12 will be annual requirement or annual demand. Setup cost is 5,200. This is more like my CA. There my CA was ordering cost, here it is cost of setting up the machine. ठीक है, and the cost of holding one bottle is 1.5. Since we are dealing with the finished goods, the cost of holding the inventory should always be for finished goods. In this case, it is the cost of the bottle. आगे बढ़ेंगे. As per the estimate, the company can order as much the okay, HDL क्या है? HDL here, HDL is my customer, so they can order 19 lakh bottles in a year, so they can give me demand of 19 lakh bottles. We are the bottle manufacturer, we are this company BTL is us, we are manufacturing bottles and we are selling bottles to HDL, ये वाला. ठीक है, आगे बढ़ेंगे. Spread evenly in there. ठीक है, at present BTL मतलब us, we are manufacturing 160 bottles in a batch. Now this is more like a random quantity which may not be the optimum run size. Like the way we can purchase a non-EOQ quantity, we as a company can manufacture a non-ORS batch size as well. The cost of the CA and CI will be the least at ORS. Like the way my TCA plus TCI is the least at EOQ, my TCA plus TCI is the least at ORS, which means if the company is manufacturing at one time a quantity which is different from the ORS, it is going to incur a little more cost. Exactly same like the extra cost of non-EOQ. ठीक है, अभी करना क्या है? Compute the economic batch quantity. Now this economic batch quantity is nothing but ऑप्टिमम रन साइज और एक बैच में या एक रन में कितना गुड्स वी हैव टू मैन्युफैक्चर. ठीक है, एंड कंप्यूट द एनुअल कॉस्ट सेविंग टू BTL. ओके, गलत पेंसिल. Compute the annual cost saving to BTL by adopting the EBQ. मतलब currently the company may not be following the ORS or EBQ. If we follow EBQ, we will end up having lesser cost because the cost is obviously least at EOQ in the previous concept and ORS in this concept. So I can see that the data given to us is exactly same like my EOQ. बराबर. Here the annual requirement appears to be 2 lakh into 12, that is A. CA appears to be 5,200, which is this number. CI appears to be 1.5. By using this formula, I will get the optimum batch size or the EBQ or the optimum run size. Once I get this, like the way I find the cost at EOQ and the cost at non-EOQ, I'll find the cost at EBQ and the cost at non-EBQ. The difference is the cost savings. Barabar? So let us start the question. I can see all data is given to us. A is known, CA is known, CI is known. So let us start. I can say that my annual requirement is 19 lakh. Oh, 90 lakh तुम्हारा क्या है? B can produce. Oh, मैंने गलत बोल दिया लगता है. मैंने बोल दिया that this 2 lakh is the 2 lakh into 12, but my A is annual demand, not the production. So 19 lakh. This is my A. This is not my A. It was my mistake. मैंने 2 lakh का figure देख लिया. 2 lakh is the production, but my A is always annual demand and not production. 2 lakh is only my capacity. So this 19 lakh becomes A. That is annual. So 2A into CA. So 2 into A ये अपना आ गया. CA was 5.2 जो मैंने डिस्कस कर दिया है. CI is 1.5 given to us directly here. किधर गया अपना CI? ये वाला. CI is this, CA is this, and this is not my A. This is simply my production. बराबर. Annual demand is always this. 19 lakh जो अपना डिमांड आता है, 2 lakh is simply my production capacity. 2 lakh into 12 is annual production capacity. I need annual demand, so 19 lakh is annual demand. Once I use the formula, I will get my economic batch size, which appears to be this. This is my economic batch size. इसका मतलब क्या है? This means in one batch size or in one production run, it is the most optimum to produce these many bottles at one time. Like the way I find EOQ कि एक time कितना order करना है, this is more like how much should be the quantity of goods to be manufactured at one time. Now you tell me how much is the company manufacturing at one time as of now. Can I say this number 1,60,000? Can I say this number is different from ORS of 114? Definitely yes, which means the cost is minimized at this amount of 114. However, the company is making this amount of 160. It is because of this that its cost of production will be more. That the difference in the two is my part number 2. Okay, so it's my job to find the cost at ORS and the cost at non-ORS, that is cost at 160 and cost at 114. Okay, tell me what is my annual requirement? Can I say my annual requirement is 19 lakhs? Definitely yes. What is my existing batch size? 1,60,000 जो दे दिया अपने को. Can I say इतना अपने को these are my number of runs every year? ठीक है, this into 5,200 will be my setup costs. ठीक है, normal अपना A upon Q into my my ordering cost is cost at non-EOQ. Here it is A upon Q into the cost per run as my setup cost. Similarly, Q upon 2, that is 1,60,000 upon 2 to get my average stock, and into 1.5, this is going to give me, this is going to be my inventory holding cost of FG, and this figure plus this figure is my inventory associated cost if I produce 1,60,000 at one production setup. बराबर. Similarly, other part में तुम्हारा क्या आएगा? If I decide to go for EOQ, then the same 19 lakhs, then the same 19 lakhs will be divided by the EOQ quantity, that is EBQ quantity, and that into 5,200 is my setup cost, and the same EBQ quantity upon 2 is average stock into 1.5. This will give me my cost of inventory holding. This plus this is the cost at ORS or EBQ, and compare it to this with this, the balancing figure is going to be my cost savings. Exactly same like my EOQ concept. Barabar. So, and okay, you can also find the cost at EBQ at 2ACACI, because these are my costs at EOQ in the previous concept, and this is the cost at EBQ in the current concept. So I can see the formula is exactly the same. It is only applicable to FG and not RM. वो तुम्हारा purchase है, ये तुम्हारा manufacture है. ठीक है, let's verify what the ICI has done. As I said, if the batch size is 1,60,000, if the batch size is EOQ or EBQ, what is my cost? So ये number of setups, number of batch तुम्हारा 12. They haven't shown the working of 12, but this 12 is nothing but 19 lakh ka annual requirement upon 1,60,000 batch size, and जो भी number आएगा that is I think 12, and that 12 into my setup cost appears to be 400. Then 120 तुम्हारा कैसा आया? Q divided by 2, that is into half, into 1.5 is my inventory holding cost. I get the carrying cost, and 62 plus 1,20,000, this figure is the cost if I decide to produce 1,60,000, which is non-ORS quantity at one time. Similarly, if I go for ORS quantity, then in that case the bottles the ORS is 114,775, which means the number of batches of 17, this 17 should come like this. 19 lakh, तुम verify कर लो शायद कैलसी पे, 19 lakh upon 114,775, and this into my ordering cost equivalent, or my machine setup cost is nothing but 88,400, and the same thing quantity upon half, I mean into half or divide by 2 for average quantity, and that into my inventory holding cost. This will give me this cost, and 88 plus 86 is 174, and the difference between the two is 790. Galat pen. And the difference between the two is 7918. This is my impact on the profit, or it is simply my incremental cost which I am incurring right now, or nothing but savings if I decide to shift to ORS. ठीक है, the format is exactly same like EOQ. I'm simply changing the names of raw materials to finished goods. There we had to find the goods or quantity of goods I have to order at one time. Here we are finding the quantity of goods to manufacture at one setup or in one setup. ठीक है, so question number 6 gone, question number 7 gone, question number 8 gone, question number 8 is also gone. ठीक है, good thing to revise because we hadn't revised this concept in the previous RTPs. ठीक है, so one more question is what we'll do and then I will take a break. ठीक है, next question is very small. It is on job costing. So let us quickly just revise what is job costing. As I said, job costing is not a concept, it is not something new, it is just a cost sheet preparation, but a cost sheet which is generally prepared for goods single unit will now be prepared for a job, and the job may involve 100 shirts, 20 trousers or whatever. They may not define the job, but it is done for one particular assignment. The cost sheet format will remain the same, the concept will remain the same, absorption will remain the same. It is just that rather than doing it for goods, I am doing it for job, and well, that is it. No concept to be discussed here. That's why we will directly start with the question. Ready? Last question for this session, and in the next session we'll be starting from question number 10 and onwards, and then we'll finish off RTP for November 19 as well. ठीक है, let us start. वो इतना लंबा सोचने के पहले let's first figure out question number 9, job costing please. So question number 9, let's start. November 19 RTP, question number 9, job costing. Let's start please. Some company undertook a plant manufacturing work for a client. ठीक है, it will be charging a profit markup of 20% on cost. जो भी cost आएगा plus 20% I'll get the selling price. The following is the information. ठीक है, materials used 1 crore 87 lakhs. ठीक है, labor utilized these many hours and this is the rate per hour. So simply multiply rate per hour into number of hours. I'll get the job content, sorry, I'll get the labor cost content in this job. ठीक है, overheads is 48 lakhs for the period and recovered on the basis of so and so labor hours. Do I have to take my entire period's cost in this job only? No, because there are many other jobs that the company is doing. So I'll get the absorption rate using this data of 48 lakhs and 24,000 labor hours. Once I get the absorption rate, I should use the same rate on these many hours only, because I have discussed n number of times कि जितना अपना labor hours के ऊपर labor के ऊपर hours होगा, the overheads will be absorbed for those hours only. Never will it happen कि labor are having different hours and the absorption is happening for different hours. ठीक है, आगे बढ़ेंगे. The S&D overheads are 18 lakhs. Okay, गलत pencil. It is the S&D overheads are 18 lakhs for the period and recovered on the basis of total production cost of 36 lakhs. So पूरे period का COP was 36 lakhs and then पूरे साल का admin S&D was 18 lakh. So we'll apply the same ratio on this job's COP and get the absorbed content of S&D. ठीक है, and compute the price to be charged on this job. Pretty simple question, इसमें कुछ भी नहीं है. What we have to do is simply start from 187, then you add 2400 into 80, then you do 48 lakh का absorption upon 24,000 hours and the same into 2,400 hours जो इन्हीं labor के लिए hours है. I'll get the absorbed content. What I will get is the COP. After COP, I will add 50% of COP as the admin content. ये 50% कहाँ से आया? This is nothing but 36 lakhs divided by 18 lakhs. ओ उल्टा, 18 by 36, 18 is the admin. अच्छा उल्टा कर दिया. जब मेरा overheads 18 lakhs था तब मेरा COP 36 lakhs था, which means absorption rate is 50% COP. Once I get this, I'll get total cost. Simply add 20% margin. I will get the sale value and well, that's it. खत्म. इतना ही क्वेश्चन है, बिकॉज और कुछ है ही नहीं क्वेश्चन के अंदर. कॉस्ट्स आर गिवन, एब्जॉर्प्शन रेट इज गिवन, लेबर आवर्स इज गिवन, सीओपी मिल जाएगा. वंस आई गेट द एब्जॉर्प्शन रेट ऑफ 50%, अप्लाई दैट ऑन सीओपी टू गेट माय एसएनडी कॉस्ट. एंड दिस, एज आई सेड, whenever S&D is given as S&D and admin combined, then these are always to be taken as S&D and not as admin cost. Anyway, as per new cost sheet format, admin cost should be admin cost only in the event of they being production based. ठीक है, and that's it. देख लें क्या किया हुआ है. As I said, we'll be starting from the DM content. This 187 is given. 2400 into 80 comes to this many. Then absorption rate is overheads upon the hours, जो भी rate आएगा, into same number of hours. These hours are coming from here only. As I said, 2400 labor hours will always be used for absorption content also. After doing all these things, I'll end up getting the production cost. Then my absorption rate was, when 18 lakh were the total साल भर का overheads, 36 lakhs hours, ये hours नहीं है अपना, hours है क्या? Cost ये rupees है, it is wrong, ये hours नहीं है. So when my overheads was 18 lakh पूरे साल भर का, my total production cost was 36 lakhs. Can I say my overheads of S&D were 50% of my COP? Yes, which means जितना मेरा COP होगा, ये वाला फिगर, उसका 50%, so 193.72k into 50% will be this figure of absorption, and doing this I will get my total cost, and at 20% markup I will get my selling price or the quotation price for the job. As I said, this is job costing. We are doing the cost sheet for a particular job. I will not divide this cost with the output because I don't know the output. I am doing a job costing. So as I said, तुम्हारा job costing is not a concept, it is simply cost sheet, same format, everything is the same. I am not preparing the cost sheet for an output, I am preparing cost sheet for a particular job, and the job can be anything. ठीक है, 6, 7, 8, 9 gone, which means my second session of the November 19's RTP is gone, which means we are left with 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 5 questions. Either I will do one session and cover all 5 questions, or I will break the session into 3+2 or 2+3 as the case is. That depends on how lengthy the sums are. ठीक है, so this is the end of session number 2, and I will meet you in the next session, and that will probably be, I'll target to finish off all the 5 questions at one time, and that will mark the end of November 19's RTP as well. ठीक है, चलो, see you guys in the next session. Bye bye.